Hello everyone, I'm here today to show you how to do more damage in Lost Ark. A neat little thing called ability queuing. I'm going to go over what ability queuing is, how to ability queue, the benefits from ability queuing, and I'll showcase a little bit of it in PvP and PvE. Now, for starters, what is ability queuing? Ability queuing basically allows you to store one action in the future. Or ability queuing allows you to store actions in the future, but in Lost Ark's case, it's only one action in the future. Now that's really important to remember. Ability queuing only stores one action in the future. What is defined as an action is quite literally everything and anything in Lost Ark. Any key press that I do, in this case my movement is my right click. My right click is defined as an action. Now you can see when I'm pressing stuff, and in the overlay in the bottom right, and this will be important for the timings of the ability queuing. I'll show it off in a little bit. Now the classes that benefit the most from ability queuing are weapon swap classes. In PvP, Soulfist and Reaper also benefit a lot from ability queuing, but I'm not going to touch on that too much. I'm just going to show you why ability queuing can help out every class in the game, and I'll show you why it mainly only benefits the weapon swap classes. Now, let me demonstrate what ability queuing is first, and let me show you why I only mean it can record one action in the future. So I'm going to press my S, my E, and my R key simultaneously. And what's going to happen is when I press S, E, and R, since Lost Ark only records one action in the future, it's going to delete my E action and replace it with an R. And I'll demonstrate this now. So if you look at my key presses in the bottom right, if you go back and rewind it, if you missed it, I press somersault shot into quick step into peacekeeper, and it deleted my quick step because Lost Ark only records one action in the future. Now, a big mistake that I see a lot of players make for PvP, and this is going to happen to a lot of people in PvE too, because I know people that played League of Legends or other MOBAs have a habit of holding right click, like holding their movement ability. If you are holding your movement ability and you try to do what I just did, the action will not come out. I pressed S into E and my E never came out. The reason being is that your movement ability is considered an action. So it's very important that you don't hold down your movement while you're trying to ability queue. So for a smooth ability queue, I press S and E simultaneously, and then I'll press my R when I see my E animation start. All of that, that whole sequence, I pressed every ability before, like while the animation of the previous ability was playing. I stored the action ahead of time, so I'm getting out my abilities on frame 1. That is really important for damage windows, especially when you're squeezing in damage in hard instances such as Hell Vicus or Hell Volton. These fights where you need to push your damage and you need to get off your damage as quickly as possible. The reason why weapon swap classes benefit the most from this is because other classes can spam. And what I mean by spam is if I press S and then I press E 42 times after I press S, my E will always come out frame 1 because I'm mashing it. I mashed E there, and because it only records one action in the future, but I'm spamming that singular action, it will always come out frame 1. That's why ability queuing mainly benefits weapon swap classes, because you cannot do that on weapon swap. If I were to press S and I spammed my X key, I just fly through all my weapons and then I don't get a smooth transition. What I want to do with the weapon swap classes, let's say I was going to press S, X into S, which would be quick step, weapon swap to sniper, and then catastrophe. What you want to do is you want to get the timing down very precisely, so you're ability queuing your weapon swap into catastrophe before the animation comes out. That was a little bit not so smooth, so let me try that again. I'll do S, X, D. Right there, I pressed my focus shot before the animation of my weapon swap came out. So as soon as the game registers that my weapon swap action goes through, I go ahead and press the next ability, and it'll store that action and get it out, which is known as ability queuing. This is really important because it lets you push the damage of your character and lets you get the most amount of damage that you can possibly do in tight DPS windows. And when you start chaining this together, especially on a class with Gunslinger, it's going to feel a lot smoother to play. I always recommend people to practice ability queuing, not just for PvP, but for PvE as well, because it lets you do more damage, and just overall, the class will feel a lot smoother. I hope this video helped you, and if you have any further questions, always feel free to type in the comments below. Have a good day.